Hey there, if you're planning a trip to Yosemite National Park, here are 5 things that you need to know before you go. My name is Ash, and I'm a former park ranger and the founder of Dirt in My Shoes. I am here to make your Yosemite National Park vacation fantastic. So let's talk about the 5 things that you'll want to know before you go. This will help jumpstart your planning process and make sure that you're ready to have a great time in Yosemite National Park. Number 1, Yosemite is a large national park. So not only is Yosemite really popular, but it is a very large national park with multiple entrances, lots of different places you can stay, and several roads that you can drive. And so this is what surprises a lot of people as they're planning a trip to Yosemite versus when they actually get there, is realizing that it does take a long time to drive between the points of interest, and it can be hard to navigate through the park because it is a little bit more complex. So for example, we have the Yosemite National Park map right here. You can see that it is rather large. We have Yosemite Valley down in here, and that's a really good central location. So as you can see, we've got this road coming up here. Tioga Road is what it's called. You've got this road going south all the way down to here. And so it can take a long time to drive between points of interest. So for example, from Yosemite Valley up here to the Tuolumne Meadows, so you'll follow the Tioga Road, it's about 55 miles. If you're on good highway, you know that doesn't take very long to drive, but because you're in Yosemite, the speed limits are lower, the roads are windy, you're gaining a lot of elevation as you're driving this Tioga Road to Tuolumne Meadows. And so that takes the 55 miles and makes it about an hour and a half to 2 hours to drive. So you'll just want to keep that in mind as you're planning your trip, as you're planning your lodging, because if you book your lodging for somewhere up here, say in the Tuolumne Meadows Lodge or the campground up here, then it's going to take you a long time to drive to Yosemite Valley or even further to get down to the southern area of the park. And so for that reason, I like to know kind of the layout of the park before I'm going to book my lodging. In this case, I do like to be in this area here because it is more central and Yosemite is such a big park. Knowing that Yosemite is a really large national park not only helps with the lodging, but also when you're planning out your days and what you want to do in the park, it makes a big difference to know about how long it's going to take to drive between points of interest and how to plan out your sites so that you're not spending most of your day in the car. If figuring out how to plan your time and how to make sure you're not spending all your time in the car seems overwhelming to you, then click on over to Dirt in My Shoes. You'll find my national park trip itineraries, and I do have one for Yosemite. So if you click in here, you'll see that I can help you with your day's plan and make sure that you know exactly when to be where and how long it's going to take to drive between all the sites that you're hoping to see. Number 2, book your lodging a year in advance. Yosemite has a lot of options of places to stay, and so that's really nice, especially if you're wanting to be in the park. You do have some really great options. However, they do get snatched up pretty quickly, and so if you can, try to book your trip about a year in advance. That's when the hotels open up for reservations, and so if you're wanting to visit in July of 2025, then you'll want to book your lodging July of 2024. If we take a look at the map again, then you'll see typically, again, when I'm trying to book my lodging, I like to either be in Yosemite Valley here. It's nice and central. There are several good lodging options here, including hotels and campgrounds. Or if you're wanting to be just outside of the park, kind of in this El Portal area, Foresta is right in here, Yosemite West is right in here. Those are all really great lodging options if you're hoping to be in a good central location for Yosemite. You will also find several campgrounds along the Tioga Road. Those are a little bit further out than I typically like to be, but they will work, especially if you're not able to get anything in Yosemite Valley. You could book, say, something at White Wolf or Yosemite Creek, and then you could spend a few days down in the southern end of the park too. And so that would also break up your lodging. But you're looking at about a year in advance for hotels in Yosemite, and especially the ones in Yosemite Valley, they do get booked up pretty quickly, like the Yosemite Valley Lodge or the Ahwahnee. but if you can get in there, it is a really great location. Campgrounds in Yosemite are very competitive. It can be so difficult to get a campsite in Yosemite Valley especially. You'll see this All About Camping post where I will map out all of the campgrounds and your options, so you can check that out. But in general, if you can get in Yosemite Valley, do try to do that because it is the best location. Campground reservations go on sale 5 months in advance, and you'll see on this website here on Yosemite that they do have a list of when you might be staying in the campground and what day you'll want to make your reservations for that. So definitely refer to this as you're planning to get your campsites and if you're hoping to get reservations for that. This process for getting lodging either at a hotel or a campsite may change at any time, so definitely be sure to check the official Yosemite NPS site to make sure that you have the most up-to-date information for your trip. Number 3, Yosemite is extremely crowded. So Yosemite is always in the top 10 most visited parks in the US, so it does stay very crowded. You're looking at 3 million plus visitors per year visiting this park, most of them coming during the summer months. So you'll want to keep that in mind as you're planning your trip to Yosemite so that you can control what you can control and make sure that you have a good plan in place. So what that typically means is if you can time your visit really well, if you have a good plan, if you know which areas get the busiest and how to find parking and how to use the shuttle system, all of those things, that will make your trip so much more seamless and smooth, and you'll be able to find more solitude, you'll feel more peace, and you won't have to be circling parking lots and being bogged down by crowds. A few things that Yosemite has in place to take care of some of the crowding issues, as you will see, sometimes they do require a reservation to enter the park. So you'll find that information here on the homepage or under, if you click alerts under the current conditions page, it will give you more information about what to expect while you're there. The other thing that you'll want to keep in mind is that Yosemite does have a shuttle that you can take primarily through the Yosemite Valley area of the park. So the Yosemite Valley area is the busiest part of the park. This is where you'll get those iconic views of the granite cliffs and all the waterfalls, and so a lot of people like to be in here. This Yosemite Valley shuttle system will get you around. I do recommend using this shuttle system. It's not mandatory, you don't have to take it, but a lot of the parking lots in Yosemite Valley are really small and not meant to have cars just moving in and out of them all the time. And so you'll want to park and then take the shuttle to get to all of the places that you want to go. I used to hate visiting Yosemite because it just always felt so busy, but the truth is once you figure out how to really navigate through this park, it doesn't have to feel busy at all. And so I now love visiting Yosemite because I'm able to beat the crowds and I'm able to get the parking spaces without a problem. So if you're wanting any help with that, again, I have a Yosemite itinerary on Dirt in My Shoes that will walk you through all of that and help you navigate the Yosemite Valley shuttle system. So I do provide more help for that, but just know that if you go to Yosemite and you have a good plan in place and you're able to get in there and get parking, then it is a really nice vacation. You can have a great time even despite the millions of people that visit this park each year. Number 4, Yosemite is a seasonal national park. So what I mean by that is that not everything stays open year-round. A lot of times when you start visiting the mountainous national parks, you'll notice that they do have a pretty distinct summer and winter season. So Yosemite is no exception to that. And you will find some things starting to close down in the late fall, and they will stay closed through the spring until they can reopen for the summer months. June through September is the high season in Yosemite. The waterfalls peak in May and June, so you'll get a really good flow. You'll be able to see those beautiful big waterfalls flowing really well at that time. The waterfalls in Yosemite do often dry up by August, so keep that in mind if you're planning a later summer trip or into the fall, that there is a really good chance that the waterfalls will be dry. Yosemite Valley itself is usually accessible year-round, and they do have some really fun winter activities that you can do. So by no means does the park completely close down during the winter. What you'll see as far as closures is the Glacier Point Road and the Tioga Road. So on the map here, The Tioga Road is this road here that goes through the northern part of Yosemite up to the Tuolumne Meadows. And this road closes down from about November through May. It typically reopens around the beginning of June for the summer season. This road reaches 10,000 feet above sea level. It's a very high road, and so they do have to clear snow from it to get it open, and it does have a shorter season than the rest of the park. The other closure that you'll often see during the off-season is the Glacier Point Road. That is this road right here. And this one takes you out to Glacier Point. Now, the whole road doesn't actually close. It does stay open to this ski area here. So Yosemite does have an actual ski area in the park, which is really cool. So again, it's by no means not a good place to go during the winter, but you just will want to keep in mind that the Glacier Point Road beyond the Badger Pass ski area does stay closed for a good portion of the year. It typically reopens a little bit earlier than the Tioga Road, so you're talking maybe mid-May, beginning of May sometimes, just depending on the snow levels. It's important to know what is open in Yosemite before you plan your trip. You'll want to make sure that you plan your trip with those closures in mind, because if you really have your heart set on going to Glacier Point, but you plan your trip for sometime in April or early May, the road may not be open at that time. So that's why it's important to know that Yosemite is somewhat seasonal. There are some closures there. Those are typically the number one emails I get about people planning their trips to Yosemite, and then they'll email me and say, we planned our trip for the end of April and we didn't realize that this road isn't open and this road isn't open. And it can be a really sad realization when that comes up. So just keep that in mind as you're planning your trip. If you need any help determining the best time of year to visit Yosemite, you can click on over to Dirt in My Shoes. I have a whole post about the best time to visit Yosemite, and I break it down by month. So I give my recommendations, but then I also give you everything that you need to know by month in Yosemite so that you can make sure you plan your trip for the right time. And the last thing you'll want to know before visiting Yosemite is that Yosemite is a hiker's paradise. So if you love to hike, Yosemite is a great place to go. There are so many epic, beautiful, wonderful trails. You can see those gorgeous granite cliffs, you can see the waterfalls, you've got lakes, you've got rivers, you've got wildlife. Just all the best stuff can be found in Yosemite National Park. In addition to some of those just regular trails, there are some extremely epic bucket list hikes that you'll want to check out if you love to hike and are hoping to further discover Yosemite. The first one being Half Dome. So Half Dome is that giant granite formation that is so iconic in Yosemite, and you can actually hike to the top of it. So you do need permits to hike this trail. And it is not a traditional trail. You're actually climbing up cables that the park rangers put up every year. And you're holding onto these cables and you're working your way up to the top of the dome. So that is a very epic bucket list hike for most hikers, and it's a great one to add to your itinerary. Another trail that you might be interested in is the John Muir Trail. This is over 200 miles. It travels from Yosemite Valley to Mount Whitney, which is the highest mountain in California. And so you can go through some of the best scenery in Yosemite along this trail. This one's really popular because although it is a multi-day backpacking trip, usually people take about 10 to 14 days to do the entire John Muir Trail. It's a short enough trail that it's not too complicated to plan a multi-day backpacking trip here. Another one that you may have heard of is the Pacific Crest Trail. This trail is 2,650 miles. It goes from Mexico to Canada, and it travels right through Yosemite. And so that's a really exciting, fun one if you're looking for a big, long through hike, or if you're just wanting to section hike it. You will find sections of the Pacific Crest Trail in Yosemite. The John Muir Trail and the Pacific Crest Trail actually overlap a lot in this park, and so if you're going to hike the John Muir Trail, you will see a lot of the Pacific Crest Trail that goes through Yosemite. Another option, if you're looking for a really unique backpacking opportunity, is Yosemite has High Sierra camps. And what these are basically are their rustic tents or cabins that are set up in various places around Yosemite, and you can hike between them. And so this information is all here, but it's a super cool opportunity. There are 5 of these, and you'll see on the map here. So they mostly center around the Tuolumne Meadows area out here. And then you can just cycle around and go actually in a circle and hit all 5 of them if you want. What these are is they provide the bedding and the beds and the food, and so you don't have to carry everything on your back. It's more like day hiking between each camp, which is a really cool experience. Another option, if you're just looking for a day hike and you're not wanting to go backpacking and you're not wanting anything too difficult, is the Mist Trail. And the Mist Trail is one of Yosemite's most famous trails because it travels up the side of a waterfall. You get misted from this waterfall. You'll be drenched if you plan your trip in June or July. And it's just a really, really fabulous hike. You'll go to the top of Vernal Fall. If you want to continue, you can actually go to the top of Nevada Fall. You can get some great views of the waterfalls from up here and the granite domes. The Mist Trail is about 6 miles round trip. You can shorten it depending on how far you want to go, and so that's a really great option. This list of trails is by no means an exhaustive list of what you'll find in Yosemite. There are some really good ones that aren't as well known, and if you love to hike, this park is just so fantastic for that. You can get out on the trail, you can see some incredible things, and really find some nice solitude and great photo ops as you hit the trail in Yosemite. Okay, there you go. The 5 things you need to know before visiting Yosemite National Park. I am so excited for you to visit this national park. I am here for every step of the trip planning process. So if you're just getting started and you're looking for basic information on when to go, how many days to spend there, where to stay, I can help you with that. If you've already booked all of that and figured all that out, then I can help you with your day-to-day schedule. So be sure to click over to Dirt in My Shoes, find the Yosemite information that I have there for you, and have a great trip.